Welcome to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. Use the power of discovering new habits to create success in all areas of life. Body, fitness and nutrition, being, spirituality, passion and purpose, balance, marriage, kids and relationships, business, marketing, sales, leadership and systems. Transform your life by learning how habits work. And now your host, a husband, father, entrepreneur, trainer, coach, and warrior, Jesse Ewell.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of looking back. So on today's episode, I wanted to share with you guys something I accidentally thought about just over the last few days. And if you don't know, Facebook has a feature on it that is called Memories. And it often pulls up things as like things that you posted, say last year. You could go all the way back. A lot of mine go all the way back to like 2011, 2012. But these are where I really started to post things. My wife being a little bit earlier, but where I really started to post and take off with consistently posting was around 2015. And as I thought about this, and as I thought back to the memories and many of the things that I had went through, one of the main things that came up for me was just how important it is to look back, how important it is for you to look back over the last, 3 years, 5 years, to really see growth. Because I know if I'm zooming in on just today, it can look like nothing has changed. But when I really look back, even over just the last 5 years, I can see the results. I can see the massive change, not only in, maybe in a physical look, I look different. And of course, we age, but I really look at the man I am today versus the man I was 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. You see, and I spent a large portion of my life not looking back. In fact, I think I ran as fast as I could away from that guy that I was. It was kind of like if you've ever had that dream where someone's chasing you and you don't look back, you just keep running as fast as you can forward. That's kind of what it felt like. That's a little bit of what it felt like. And the thing on this is, as we look back, for me, 2015 marked the start of a journey. And what was crazy is as I looked back over the memories the last 5 years, it was like something significant had happened in that week, in this week that I'm recording, which is, now it's almost the end of January. But when I look at, it was like the exact same day 5 years ago on that day, that very specific day, I think it was January 23rd or 24th, that it was like something significant was going on. And I remember back in January 2015, I started on a journey of becoming a better husband, father, businessman, leader. I went through my first ever Warrior Week, which was really the beginning of, personal development. And although at the time I was full of shit, I really said I wanted to take my business to the next level. I did. But I really realized that without a strong marriage, like that wasn't even possible. It took me literally getting punched in the face to really wake up to a new reality. And I went on this journey of discovering myself. I submitted to the man that I had believed myself to be, and I began to uncover parts of myself that I had not yet met. And that year, I really lived everything that I was taught. I took every teaching, I took everything that I had learned, And I really realized that the calling I had was to lead others. And, at the time I had 2 fitness facilities where we did personal training. I had like 26 employees. We were helping people, but I really wanted to help people beyond just fitness. January 2016, again, like I said, this same time the next year, I'm creating a program. I created a program, and it was actually my second one, called Project Alpha. And it was to help men become better husbands, fathers, and leaders. And now that I had lived this for a year, I wanted to teach other husbands, fathers, and leaders to do the same, other businessmen to do the same. And I was made fun of. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was made fun of. I was told I shouldn't be doing this by several of my members. Several clients I can remember to this day came up to me and like, dude, you're not qualified to do this. What makes you think that you're qualified to lead other men? And, in fact, I think I'd probably lost 30 to 40 clients over that year, leave my gym, because I was taking a stand to be a better husband, father, leader, businessman. And most people didn't like it. And I'll say I lost a significant amount of money, between, just average of $10,000 to $15,000 in revenue was lost because of that. But I didn't let it stop me. In fact, I let this actually fuel me. And many times in our life, we let things like this stop us from doing our passion, doing what we're called to do. But here's the thing is, people don't know what your calling is. People don't know what your passion is about. And their choices can't get in the way of God's calling for you. And so as I spent, and I would actually say as I invested all through 2016, I eventually started volunteering for Wake Up Warrior. And, I did that for 9 months. And then January 2017 comes around, and now I'm coaching. I remember the very first Warrior Week I did, where I was actually the coach, and they were selling me to fulfill on the back end of it. But January 2017, I'm doing Warrior Week 35. And it taught me this program that taught me how to be a better husband, father, businessman, leader. I'm now coaching other men in. And I'll be honest with you, the reason I created Project Alpha was because I had seen the results. I didn't have an opportunity to work for them at that time. I stayed in the program, kept learning, kept growing. But it really made me, learn. It really made me live what I was learning. And so as I volunteered for those 9 months, I really pushed myself. I really, grew, because I seen, there was no pay. There was me buying my own way. At one point, I can remember is like basically what I had covered was a room, and what I had covered was food, and I was paying for everything else, and I was committed. And guess what? I was made fun of again. I was made fun of by people in Warrior, saying you're kissing ass, these things. I was made fun of by my clients. Why are you doing this? Why are you going to these things where you're beating guys up? Because all they really thought was it was this, macho, masculine thing, kind of pounding your chest. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting here impacting men. I'm impacting their families. I'm impacting their entire life, their employees. And people didn't see that, but I don't really care, because I wasn't about to explain it. Because here's the thing is, I didn't know anybody an explanation. I didn't know anybody a definition of what I was doing, because at the end of the day, I knew I was making a difference in people's lives. People continued to leave my gym. Clients continued to leave. Clients continued to hate on me. And yes, I had tons of clients that are like, man, that's awesome what you're doing. I can't believe the impact that you're making. But I want you to know something. At every step of the way, I had people doubting me. At every step of the way, I also had people supporting me. And you know what? Both sides pushed me. Like, I let people doubt me, fuel me. I let that doubt fuel me and be like, okay, you don't think I can do this? Watch. January 2018 comes up. And we had previously started a program, or there was a program that I was the third certified trainer to be certified beyond the owner of the company, Garrett White, and then one of my friends, great friends to this day. We actually share an office together, Sam Falsafi. Those were 1 and 2. I was number 3. And as 2017 came to an end, we graduate certified trainer in December 2017, and then we roll into 2018. I am, asked to be one of the head certified trainers to actually lead men to not only get certified, but to take them through a certified trainer warrior week, which we would be on the back end of what was actually going on during warrior week. And we would be, basically doing our own version of it. But it was one of the biggest breakthrough events because I didn't have anybody. I didn't have anybody telling me what to do. I didn't have anybody saying, hey, you need to do these things. Just create it to the way that guys will get the best experience out of it and what they need. And we had some of the biggest breakthrough moments that I'd ever seen. And these are all guys that had already been through Warrior Week, almost like going through again, but from a coach's perspective. Not only that, but they got to experience it in a different way. And as 2018 started to roll in, I started to see a path where, I was the lead certified trainer, getting men certified to lead the Warriors Way in this program. But 30 days prior, what most people don't know is I had committed at the end of 2017. It was literally on December 31st. That day I flew down to California. I made a commitment to Garrett White that I would sell my gym, sell my house in Gig Harbor, Washington, and we would move our family to Southern California. And what's crazy is I committed to being done by July 1st, 2018. And by July, we had sold our house and we had sold both gyms and made the move. We actually made the move on July 25th. We had a few things that we had to close up, but for the most part, the gyms closed the sale on August 31st. But the bigger thing is all of those things happened because I made a powerful commitment. I made a powerful declaration. See, I was committed to moving here to be a part of, the certified trainer program and to run that for Wake Up Warrior. But along the way, I'd been made fun of every step of the way. I'd been questioned why people talk shit. And in all of those things, there was no doubt in what I was doing. There was no doubt in what I was doing the entire time. Yes, I had worries, I had fears, I had, where I wanted to second guess what I was doing. But what I mean by I had no doubt in coaching people, coaching men in what I was doing. That's where I didn't have any doubt. So I knew that was my purpose. And I knew God's was calling me to do this in a different way. And so as I moved here in that year, some things started to change. My job, my position at Wake Up Warrior kind of came to an end. They shut down the certified trainer program. But I got an opportunity at the end of December where they had asked me, hey, do you want to come in and go back to coaching Warrior Week, which is something that I had already done, or do you want to do your own thing? And I said, you know what? I really want to do my own thing. I really want to take my 20 years of experience in the fitness industry, and I really want to take my 5 years of experience coaching men and figure out a program that really dives deep into these areas. Because I'd felt like we'd only scratched the surface of, I knew so much more about fitness. I knew so much more about nutrition. I knew so much more about optimizing your body, your health, because I had done these things. I knew so much more about biohacking. I knew so much more about optimizing your brain and your performance and yourself as an athlete. And just because, you're 40 years old and you're a businessman doesn't mean that you can't be an athlete. And I'd learned over these last 5 years of just living this habit-based lifestyle and living, what I call this challenge-based lifestyle, where every 90 days you're challenging yourself in these 4 areas, but you're not just challenging yourself, you're actually like growing. And so as January 2019 launched, I launched my program, Habit-Based Lifestyle. At that time, I'd launched a podcast. I'd launched a book called Man in the Mirror. I launched my own coaching business, and I really had zero. I started from zero. I had no clients. I had no guarantees. Remember, most of my clients before were all from the gym. And, I ran virtual boot camps to where it was all virtual training, and people talk shit. They're like, dude, what can you do now that you don't have Wake Up Warrior backing you up? What can you do now that you're not in the gym industry? And I didn't listen. I didn't listen to anybody. Yeah, I heard them, but I didn't listen. And so as the year went on, launching different programs, with my wife, and just coaching people, getting to where I kind of knew what I wanted to do. And, we also launched a marriage boot camp throughout the year that we ran a few times. January or December 2019 kind of comes to an end, and it's like, okay, what are we going to do? And we really started to create, hey, we love the results of, marriage boot camp. We love the results of habit-based lifestyle. And so, January 2020, I launched into, a mastermind for a program called Power Couples. And then I launched a mastermind for habit-based lifestyle. And here's the reason why is what I seen was people got the best results inside of, being coached in their marriage if they had a foundation of habits first. If they had a foundation of habits, putting themselves in power first, they could step into their marriage and bring that into their marriage and have a powerful marriage, which is kind of how this Power Couples was born. And so bringing people in straight off the street into marriage boot camp, like it didn't work. It worked to a certain extent, but like you're talking about 2 people being out of power, or 1 person being out of power and the other one being in power. There's a lot of resistance. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of victim talk, blame, all these things happening if you're not in power. And what I seen is couples that were not in power individually, they really struggled to, change and make it together. And so as we started to kind of back this up, it's like, okay, habit-based lifestyle is where people individually get into power, whether they're single, they're married, whatever it is, it's about an individual game of getting in power. Once you're there, your marriage, your relationship, certain areas of your life begin to get exposed. I would even say in business, your relationships with your employees, how you lead begin to get exposed once you put yourself in power. And let me just say what power is. So power is not this, guy barking and yelling at everybody. Power is like, think of like light, or think of, someone who, if you turn the light on it's super bright and everybody's kind of feeding off that energy, or you dim the light and they're kind of lacking power. And so when I say power, I mean putting themselves in a place of power to where they're making an impact on other people. They're showing up as the best husband, father, leader, businessman they can be. They're getting out of this place of survival and victim mode. But as this came about, we launched, a lot of the couples had graduated through marriage boot camp, and they're like, okay, well, what's next? It's like, okay, listen, now that you're in power as a couple, we're creating this program called Power Couples. We're bringing you into a mastermind group, and we're bringing you in to have an experience where you're setting your outcomes for a year. And not only setting your outcomes for a year, but you're actually going to do this together as a couple. And you're going to scale it back individually of, hey, here's what I'm committed to doing. But you both are on the same page. And we launched this same week, January 2020. It was an amazing event, amazing experience, massive breakthrough. And I can't tell you how powerful it is to create a vision for your life, for you and your spouse. And we're just getting started. But some of the lessons you learn is people are going to doubt you. It's not you, it's them. And having a strong marriage, having a strong family support system is key. Taking 100% ownership of you. That's the only person you can control. And many times when we want to control others, or blame them for what happened, it takes away our power. It takes away our power and our ability to choose, because guess what? If I point my finger and say, hey, listen, you're the problem, that means you're the solution also. That means that I can't change my circumstance until you provide me with a solution. And when you do that, everybody loses. But here's the thing is, if you notice, what had happened is every single year, something significant happened in the same week, that same year. January, 20th to, let's just say January 21st to January, 31st, something significant happened. Not only that, that was 2015, and that same time frame was when my wife found out we were having our third daughter. It was like the week or 10 days after Warrior Week 15 back in January 2000, Warrior Week 16 back in January 2015. That's a lot to say, but something significant had happened in those last 10 days of the month. But here's the thing is, when you have a calling, it's like a magnet that just keeps pulling you forward. And as this pulls you forward, others won't see that. Others won't recognize it. Even sometimes your own family won't see that. But don't ever apologize to anybody for you living your purpose. Don't ever apologize for you being called and listening to that calling. See, when I look back at the last 5 years, I smile. It was like, when I look back, I'm like, man, there was times where I wanted to quit. I wanted to give up. There was a lot of frustration. There was fights, there was arguments, there was late nights, but it was all worth it. I wouldn't change any of it. The pain, the power, the sleepless nights, the stress, the fun, the fear, the excitement, the ups and downs. But here's what I know. If you go all in on you every single day, you will impact so many people in your life. And the one person you're going to impact the most is you. Because if you can believe in you, other people will be attracted to that. See, there's been so many people I've met along the way, and I've had the pleasure of coaching. And I just want to thank them, from family, my wife, my kids, friends, clients, even people who didn't support me. Because at the end of the day, those were all things that drove me. And knowing that you're supported on the journey, it even makes it that much better. But I want to give you guys a couple practical things that you can do to look back. Looking back at your life isn't just, looking back. It's really asking yourself, look at where you are today. Who am I now today inside of my health, my fitness, my mindset, my mindfulness? Who am I at today as a husband, a father? Who am I today as a businessman, a leader? Do my employees, like me? Do my clients like me? And then we get into how we've improved. So we look at where we were 1 year, 3 years, 5 years ago. You look at who you've been. Man, who have I been 5 years ago? I can look back and know 5 years ago that I was, although at the time I probably wouldn't admit it, man, I was like lost. I was scared. 2016 comes around and I'm like, man, I'm a leader. I'm leading other men. 2017, I keep proving that I'm leading people. I'm keep answering this calling at higher level. More and more people start entering my life that I get an impact. But look at where you've been 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. Who have you been? And then this other part is really important. Like, how have you improved inside of your health and fitness? How have you improved inside of your mindfulness, your mindset? How have you improved inside of your relationships with your wife, kids? How have you improved as a businessman, as a leader in your company, as someone that fulfills for your clients? What's changed or maybe not changed? And what are some things that you might still be struggling with? Because success leaves clues. Success leaves clues, failures leave clues, all those things. And we can leverage those, leverage the full experience of life to create more in your life. Leverage that full experience. And the final question of this is, who do I want to become? Who do I want to continue to become? Yes, we all want to grow, but really having that defining, hey, here's who I want to become inside of my health. Here's who I want to become inside of my mindset. Here's who I want to become as a husband, father, businessman. Because it's important for us to see, hey, here's where I was 2015, 2020, I'm here. And I see that, I'm like, man, I've grown a lot, but if I just focus on this, it doesn't really look like I've grown. But when I bring this out and I can see every step of the way that I've grown in a massive way, now I'm like, hey, if I just continue to do this, I'm going to be here in another 5 years. And now when I look here and here, man, like I don't even seem like the same person I am today as I was 5 years ago. And now, when I get to where I want to be 5 years from now, I'm going to look back and be like, I'm not even the same guy I was 5 years ago, let again, 10 years ago. And so, as you work on this, and maybe you don't like the person you've become. And I think that's important too, because failure leaves clues. Failure leads us to wanting to make a change. And so it's important to not just focus on who you are today. It's important to look back and say, who have I been? Who am I today? And who do I want to become? And those are the three things that are going to get us to move and change. So I hope this message resonates with you guys out there today, because it was a powerful message for me. And I wanted to share this with you and share this with my listeners and know that, hey, man, I had people every step of the way telling me I couldn't do it. But guess what? I stopped giving energy to the haters and started putting the energy into what was going to get me what I want, who I wanted to become. Because guess what? The haters, they're not hating you. They're hating your results. They're hating on the results that you've gotten, because let's be honest, haters are not hating on you because they've gotten their own results. Haters are hating on you because they're not getting results. And they don't like seeing other people succeed. And so as you're watching this, as you're listening to this, just realize a hater has not got the results you have. No one's hating on you for being below them. People are hating on you because you're rising up. And as you continue to rise up, you're going to get more and more people doing this. And it's not you, it's them. But make this looking back a habit. It doesn't need to be every month, but I think really every year or every 6 months, it's like, hey, here's who I am today. Here's who I've been, and here's who I want to become. And that really starts giving you that momentum to go forward into the future. So I want to thank you guys for being on here today and listening. If you are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group, where I will be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, feel free to reach out to me, Jesse, at habitbasedlifestyle.com. You can also check out my website, habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.